Welcome to this Practice Management Pearls session. I'm Dr. Sherry Berger here today with Sandy Walsh. We're taking on your top 3 stressors in practice. And this week, Sandy, we took it to the managers and owners and asked them, what are your top 3 stressors? Today's question that we're going to entertain is from a practice owner who's frustrated. In spite of all of their efforts, they're always concerned about their staff keeping with promoting client satisfaction. So the question for you today is, how do I make sure my team is promoting client satisfaction? What do you say?
Common concern that we see in practices. And I think it goes back to, first of all, making sure you have the right people on your team members that understand what good customer service is and that are willing to put the client first. The best way to make sure that your team is promoting this good client experience or good client service is to set the expectation. Let them know what you expect of them when it comes to dealing with the clients. And I think we forget that everyone on the team has a role in creating that good customer experience. But as a manager or an owner, we have to set the expectation that this is what we need to do on a daily basis. We know clients have choices now that they didn't have before, and they're making their decisions based on customer service. So it's the little things that matter to clients, making them feel like they're number one, like they're not just a number. And I think the best way to get a gauge on how your clients are being treated, there's a couple ways. One is to get out there and watch what's going on. I know it's a little more difficult for a doctor to do that because we don't want them hanging out up front, obviously. We want them in the exam room or in the surgery room where they're most beneficial. But if you want to get a real good feel for what's going on up front, spend some time up there and listen to what they're saying on the phone. Watch them when they interact with clients that walk through the door. I think that's going to be your biggest indication as to how your team is treating the client. The next thing you can do is a client satisfaction survey and ask the question, how were you treated when you called the practice? Did you feel like your needs were met? Ask them a few questions specifically related to their experience when they came in. And I think you'll get a pretty good feel for the level of client service that your team is promoting. But if we don't set the expectation that everyone on the team, doctors, technicians, receptionists, pet care attendants, groomers, whoever is interacting with clients has to have that ultimate client experience mindset, that we're going to treat the client in the most positive way because, again, we want them to come back, but we also want them to refer their friends and family. And if we don't treat them right, they're not going to do that. So it starts with the first touch and every touch thereafter, the phone, when they walk in the door, every follow-up call, every interaction that someone on your team has with a client needs to be positive, or as positive as they can make it. We do know that there are some situations where the health of the animal or something going on in the practice is going to make that a little bit more difficult. But if every client is treated as positively as possible and every team member understands their role, I think you'll be able to raise that bar of client service just by setting that expectation. So that's our VetVine Practice Management Pearl of the Week.